What's going on there, YouTube? Thank you for coming and hanging out with us here at Gable Music Ventures. I am your host, Miss Danielle Johnson. I'm coming to you today with a little bit more tips and tricks for you. Today we're going to be discussing social media for artists, how you can cultivate your social media to help you gain a wonderful, beautiful fan base. Since the age of MySpace, social media has completely changed the way that we operate with each other, how we communicate with each other, not only on a personal level, but for businesses and bands alike. There is an audience, an untouched fan base out there for you somewhere. You just gotta find out how to get to them and how to show them that you got what they're looking for. Although we lose that sense of mystery, being an artist, being able to have direct access to your fans is invaluable. In a time and a day and age where the music industry is flooded with music, both good and bad, it's very difficult sometimes. It can get a little frustrating to figure out how to be seen or heard. Today we're going to discuss how we can get you out there and finding the right people. If you're just making music for fun or for leisure and you don't need validation or to gain a fan base, well then congratulations, this video is not for you. But if you are an artist who would like to cultivate a fan base, then spending a little well-placed time in social media could really help and really benefit you. Your brand is what sells you, and social media has created a way for us all to be able to curate our own personal brands. Here at Gable Music Ventures, we're lucky enough to be browsing social media all day to check out the new up-and-coming bands in our area and around the area to see where we can place you guys. I would consider us definitely very well-versed in this subject, so we've compiled a little list to help all you up-and-coming artists really utilize social media, especially in its beginning stages, to help you out. So there's a famous quote that I love by Oscar Wilde. It's, "Be yourself, everyone else is already taken." As tempting as it is to create some kind of wild and crazy fictional character, being your true authentic self is what's going to get you the best results out of life. If you're some kind of anime junkie who loves Naruto and Spirited Away, then be that. That's who you are. That's who you want to attract. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. When you create content who reflects who you truly are, you attract an audience that's going to love you for what you create. Not any kind of pretend or this and that, but they're going to love you. They're going to follow your journey, and they're going to become what we love here in the music industry, super fans. Now, that's a good word. You're going to want to write that down because it's going to be something that you're going to be looking for the rest of your career. So when you create your music page, you're going to want to run it like a business. Not to take any of the personality part out of it. That's what we want. That's what people want to see. But you're going to want to have a nice professional photo of you or your band together or your logo. You're going to want to make sure that your bio information is up to date. You're going to want to make sure that your contact information is up to date. It makes you look good. We pay attention to that as booking artists when we go to your page and we see that, first of all, it's not a personal page. It's an actual music business page, and that it's professional. It's not a lot of baby mama drama or anything like that going on. We don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that, not your fans or anybody else. We want to see you creating what you create. We want to, check out your process, and we want to get interested in you as an artist. So keep it professional. Time is the only thing more precious than money. That's why the health food industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. But alas, we cannot live forever yet. Until then, everything that you do, including creating a well-written and beautiful post, should be purposeful. You want to do things to either engage your audience, invite them to a show that you have coming out, let them know about an upcoming song release, or get them to buy some merchandise, but everything should have a reason why you're doing it. You got some new merch coming out? Post a pic and tell people where they can buy it. You got a live stream coming up? Post it online, create a little event, and let people know how and when to tune in. Creating content for the sake of creating content is great, don't get me wrong. My first tip was to be genuine, be yourself. We want to see who you are. People want to get into you and how your brain works. But you never want to miss an opportunity to up the game, up the ante, and up your value as an artist. Social media is crowded. Hundreds, thousands, millions of people shouting into the void, hoping to be heard, and depending on what the algorithm gods have a hankering for that month, you may never be heard. Posting on a consistent basis keeps you in your followers' feed. It's a good way to stay up in that algorithm and keeps you being seen. If you're not posting on at least a weekly basis, your posts are going to become obsolete. You're going to post, no one's going to see them. You don't want that to happen. Nobody likes a dead post. Nobody wants it. Dead fish in the water. It's bad for everybody. Now, coming up with an exact schedule for when to post can take a little finessing, and the more you get into it, the more you see what time is the day and all that good stuff that people like for you to be posting, and you get the most engagement. But if you pay attention, you'll figure it out soon enough, so don't get discouraged. Hashtag blessed, hashtag stay woke, hashtag DIY music, hashtag, I don't know, hashtag use hashtags. Hashtags connect you with conversations, topics, themes. It widens your network and it helps people, an audience, a fan base. It helps them find you. You don't have to go looking for them. They'll find you if you use these nifty little dudes. Using them helps you hone in on your brand. Not only does it help people find you, but it helps you find where you need to be, what you need to be posting, and keeping up with the latest trends. And as much as we hate the word trendy, it's important when you're running your music as a business to stay ahead of the trends and ahead of the curves. Sometimes I found different venues, bands that were like me in my area, and people that were looking for the kind of music that I created using hashtags. I've also used them as a booking artist to find very specific things, very specific genres or types of musicians or bands that I needed. You can do a little research when it comes to this too. What are some of the bands in your area using as hashtags? They can help you out. If they're doing something, there's no point in trying to reinvent the wheel. You can just use what they got going on and see if it works for you. It can be a little tricky, so we do have some tips just specifically for the hashtag. Hashtag tips. You like that? 1, make sure your profile is set to public and not private. We're not talking about private Instagram profiles or, they need to request you or anything like that. If that's what your profile is set to, then none of these hashtags are going to work anyway. It's music, it's your business, so make sure it's accessible to everybody. 2 is limit the number of hashtags that you use. A general rule of thumb is going to be about 10, and that's mostly for Instagram. If you're on Twitter or Facebook, you're only going to want to use 2 to 3. Using too many hashtags can look a little spammy and come across as a little aggressive to some of your fans and potential followers. 3 is use relevant and specific hashtags to whatever kind of content you're creating or whatever your post is about. If you're creating music, but you're using non-music related hashtags, you're not going to put yourself in a good light. You maybe think that that's a good strategy, but believe me, it's not. People click on hashtags because they're looking for a specific something. So if your content has nothing to do with that, you're going to end up losing followers, and you're also going to end up turning a lot of people off, and we don't want to do that. We want to turn them on only, baby. And 4 is going to be try to keep your hashtags short. Those tend to be, from an analytical standpoint, the best ones to use. If they get a little too long, too wordy, you got less and less people tuning into whatever that topic is. Unless it's something, worldwide, just keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it simple. Social media is just as much about engagement as it is sharing content. Hence the social in social media. This can get a little exhausting, but with a little effort, you're gonna see some definitely great results. After you create your post, you get some likes, some shares, some comments. The cherry on top is going to be engaging with your online audience. Did they say they like your video? Comment back, like it. Thank you, I appreciate that. Tell them when the next one's gonna be coming out. Get in there, get some conversations going. Let's get it flowing. Get to know your audience and they get to know you. Creating these conversations increases loyalty, word of mouth, and it ups your referral traffic. If you know anything about these new algorithm gods, you know that they like certain things more than others. And when you get lots of likes, comments, shares, a lot of engagement, it actually ups you in the algorithm. You're more likely to be seen. So be sure to comment, like, do all that good stuff just as much as your audience is. That brings me to my next topic. Use the goddamn analytics. Now, there are whole companies that are dedicated to marketing research, but on a basic level, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram all have analytic or insight pages that have all kind of useful information that can help you post to the best of your ability. The analytic page or the insight page gives you information like what city your followers are hanging out in, or if you have more male to female, what's the age group, what posts did so well, which posts not so much, the time of day that your followers are on, all kind of stuff to help you curate the best posts each time so none of them fall flat. This information is gold. When you know what your fans like, what they like to see, you know when they're going to be online, so you know when to post, that's going to increase engagement from them. And we know that when they engage and you engage, it bumps you up the algorithm. It makes you more seeable, for lack of a better term, for people who don't know who you are. And then that's going to help them get interested in who you are, start following you, your numbers jump. Oh man, life's going to be great. You want to feed these algorithms, you really do. Knowledge is power. So when you use your analytics page, it gives you tools that are sitting right there. They're sitting right there. There's a tab. Just click the button. That's all you gotta do. Bonus tip time, everybody. I hope you're excited for this one because this is actually kind of my favorite one. This is really before I knew all the algorithms and all that extra stuff, all that good stuff, all the good information to know. This is what I did. Find yourself a social media icon. Back in 2017, my band Hoochie Coochie opened up for this really cool band called Low Cut Connie. If you live on the East Coast, I know you know who they are. So we opened for them. They were phenomenal. I started following them online, and I loved their branding. I loved the voice in what they were posting. I loved all the content that they were creating, and they were also one of the first bands I ever see engage in a way where they would talk to anybody and everybody. So that's what I started doing. They became, and still are to this day, my little cheat sheet for what works on social media. Like I said earlier, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can find an artist or a band who's maybe a tier more established than you are and check out what their method is. What kind of posts are they creating? How much engagement are they getting? Is it something that you need to be working up to? Well, then just go ahead and do that. No one's gonna care. And also, when you engage with these, next tier bands, you're engaging with your musical community around you, it can create a close bond between you and these other musicians and bands. It lets them know that you're out here and you puffing up your chest a little bit. You out here trying to do a little something, something. And it also can lead to, hopefully, maybe a working career with these people later. So that's it. Those are our tips for today, our quick tips. I hope they helped you. I hope you got a little something in there. These can get pretty deep and hectic, so if there's any of these tips that you like covered in more detail, please go ahead and comment below and we'll get to it. You think there's something that I missed, something that I didn't cover, I should have covered, leave it down in the comments and we'll be sure to create some more content because we want to make what you guys want to hear. We want to make what you want to see. So, come on, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Thank y'all so much. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell so whenever we post any more tips or any other kind of content, it'll come up and you'll be alerted. On behalf of Gable Music Ventures, thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us today. Stay safe, take care, and rock on.